In this video, I'm going to be answering the question of whether or not you can speed up your metabolism. For example, how many extra calories would you burn by drinking more water throughout the day? Muscle is metabolically active. Does that mean that building more muscle will increase your metabolic rate? Drinking green tea is supposed to boost metabolism. Does it actually? And if so, how many extra calories does it burn? Eating spicy food makes you sweat. Does that give a metabolic boost? Speaking of sweating, does sauna increase metabolism, or is cold exposure better? Shivering definitely burns calories, but exactly how many? Thousands of people follow reverse dieting. Does it work? And does cardio slow metabolism down or speed it up? I'm going to answer all these questions in this video. But first, to get everyone on the same page, let's quickly cover what metabolism actually is. In a fitness context, where the goal is to either lose fat or build muscle, what we really mean by metabolism is metabolic rate or total energy expenditure. We want to know how many calories your body burns per day. So when we say that someone has a fast metabolism, what we really mean is that their body burns a lot of calories, allowing them to eat more food. And when we say someone has a slow metabolism, we mean their body doesn't burn as many calories, and they often have to diet on less food to see weight loss. But how different are people's metabolisms anyway? If we took two people of the same sex, at the same height, and the same body weight, could their metabolisms actually be all that different? Yes, they could be. Metabolic rates are extremely individual, much more so than many people even realize. Just take a look at some of the findings from this massive 2022 study on daily energy expenditure on over 6,000 subjects from diverse backgrounds that was published in Science, one of the world's most reputable journals. This figure compares body weight, here on the x-axis, with total energy expenditure, or what fitness people would call metabolism. Each one of these blue and yellow dots represents a different person. Blue dots are male, yellow dots are female. If we pick a weight here in the middle at 80 kilos or 176 pounds, you can see that the person with the so-called slowest metabolism only burned about 1,400 calories per day, while the person with the fastest metabolism burned a whopping 5,700 calories per day at the exact same body weight. That means the person with the slowest metabolism would need to eat under 1,400 calories to lose weight, while the person with the fastest metabolism would lose weight eating 5,000 calories per day. So then, the burning question is there a way for the person with the so-called slow metabolism to speed their metabolism up so they get to eat more calories? This is an important question because if we get to eat more calories while dieting, we'll not only get the satisfaction of having more food, we may also feel less depleted, perform better in the gym, and retain more muscle. So it's worth figuring out. And I'm going to break each strategy into one of three groups. It works, it might work, and it probably doesn't work for boosting metabolism. Let's start with water. Does drinking more water increase metabolism? The answer is yes, a little. Each glass of cold water you drink burns about 8 calories. So every time you drink another glass of cold water, you get an extra 8-calorie boost. Cold water gives a bigger boost than room temperature water because your body has to burn calories to heat the cold water up to body temperature. I'll put the full calculation up here on the screen if you're curious how I came to that 8-calorie figure. But I'm still going to put water in the might work category. That's because even though water loading sounds like a decent strategy on paper, I'm not convinced it would actually translate to substantially better fat loss over the long term. It's possible that the extra calories you burn from drinking more water could be compensated for. For example, you could drink more water, but then subconsciously move around a little less so that the net boost cancels out, at least partially. I'm also not a fan of forced drinking water. If you overdo it with ultra-high water intakes within a short time frame, you can develop water intoxication or hyponatremia, which can be dangerous. So, generally speaking, 8 to 12 glasses, or about 2 to 3 liters per day is plenty, and most people can simply use their internal thirst signals to guide their intake. Water can help you feel more full at meals though, so if it does help you keep your daily caloric intake down, drink away. Alright, then what about green tea? A simple Google search returns over 40 million results for green tea and metabolism, some boasting up to an 8% spike. But what does the science say? Well, this 2021 systematic review found that of the 4 studies looking at acute metabolic effects, 3 of the 4 found no effect, while 1 study found a 79-calorie increase in daily energy expenditure. Digging into that study deeper, however, there were only 10 subjects, and it only lasted 24 hours, so I wouldn't draw any strong conclusions from it. Also, there are at least 2 studies on green tea and long-term fat loss, and both found no benefit. So while you may get a small metabolic boost from green tea, it doesn't seem to translate to more fat loss over the long term. And for that reason, I'm putting it in the probably doesn't work category. Then there's spicy food like this bowl of green curry chicken and rice. In this case, green curry gets its heat from ginger, garlic, lemongrass, and chili peppers. chili peppers seem to be the most promising from a metabolic standpoint since they contain a compound called capsaicin, which has plenty of research showing a thermogenic effect. For example, this 2017 meta-analysis of 9 studies found that, on average, capsaicin increased energy expenditure by 69 calories per day, but only in the studies where the subject's BMI was over 25, so in the overweight zone. In this bowl of green chili, there's about 0.5 grams of chili pepper, which would correspond to about 2 milligrams of capsaicin. Extrapolating out the meta-analytic data most generously, that would give me, at best, a roughly 20-calorie metabolic boost. Obviously, this pales in comparison to the 700 calories in the meal itself, but it could be enough to make capsaicin a reasonable candidate for supplementation. Still, I think the main reason that spicy food can be helpful for weight loss is not that it might give a 20-calorie metabolic boost, but rather that it can increase satiety and fullness.